In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. I bear witness that Allah is one. Why we as a people don't stand up and protect each other when it's abuse coming from the enemy. But yet and still, we aggressively kill each other for nothing. And then say, fuck that nigga. A coward is anyone that won't face pending danger or someone that doesn't have the courage to overcome his internal demons. You know, courage is something that comes from the devotion of committing sincerely to divine principles. Because when you have courage to stand for what's right, you will always be remembered. But a coward, when he passes when he passes this form of what we know as life, he will be forgotten. Courage inspires warriors. But you must have the courage to fight for what's right. Because when you don't fight for what's right, that puts you in alignment with the chastisement of God. Because God only stands with you when you are correct, when you are right. Whenever God gives you an assignment to speak truth, you will find yourself in a position where opposition will come your way. And a lot of the opposition that comes your way will be from your own people. Because you already know what the enemy is going to do. But the enemy lives in the minds of our people who don't have the knowledge of themselves, so they can be used as an instrument or a tool against themselves and their people. What is a coward? A coward is anyone that does not have the courage to face opposition, to face a pending threat against God's people, against your family. You know, when you speak truth, you can see the hatred that comes out of your people for what you stand for. And what you standing for is the freedom, justice, and equality for you and them. But because their envy and their corrupt mind is directed against themselves, it's easy for them to envy and hate you for trying to free them. When you really look at this and really take a close look at this, it's sad. And it's embarrassing. And the reason why it's embarrassing is because we have outlets today. You can go on YouTube and learn your history. You can learn your struggle. But most people, this is not important to them. But when you listen to their conversations, when you hear them speak about brothers and sisters that's out here trying to make a difference, you will see a whole bunch of Charleston whites running around in the community. That's embarrassing. You can go on YouTube. Listen, you can go on YouTube and learn your history. But to our people, some of them, that's not important. Our history doesn't govern who we are today, so that makes no sense. You know, even when you're a celebrity and you don't have the knowledge of yourself, I don't care how much money you got, how many pats you get on your back from your enemy, how many favors your enemy has given you. When you speak to the world, everybody is listening. And it's this sister that used to play on the Cosby Show. I'm gonna put her name up here. This sister made a statement, and I'm gonna let you listen to the statement that she made. She made a statement that bears witness to the lack of not having a thorough knowledge of you. just because you are born in America doesn't negate your history lineage of where you come from. That's something that you can't change. That's like taking a lion, capturing him from Africa, unjustly bringing him to America, and keeping him in America for 400 years. Torturing him for 400 years. And because this lion has had cubs in America, is that still an African lion? Absolutely it is. It's just born in America. But the history of that lion comes from Africa. Something that no one can change. They don't produce lions in America. They reproduce them in America from getting the original lion out of Africa. We are originally produced and created in Africa and was brought over here by force, trickery, and force. And we all know our history, and some choose not to learn it. But when you find those that don't know their history and don't care to know their history and don't have the knowledge who they are, they make statements like this right here. Listen what this sister said.
I'm not an African American, I'm an American. I am a Black American, I am definitely Black, and yes, my ancestors come from Africa. How long does a bloodline have to live in one land before they are considered a pure species of that land? Meaning, how long do my people have to be in America to say, hey, no, we're American, compared to some people who are English American, who are Irish American, who are German American from their ancestors, but they get to call themselves American. There's nothing wrong with being African American, but a true African American is someone that is from Africa and moved here, either first generation or second generation, and has a tie to that country that I do not have. One of the first census in Virginia that allowed for Black people to have a name was somebody from my family. So that means they were there long. I am not an African American, I'm an American.
You know, when the sister, when she made that statement, she announced it to the world. But that only showed her testifying against herself that she don't know herself. And the enemy loves them type of people because he can utilize them for his benefit. Flat out. And that shows that she's a good sister, but she's a celebrity brat. You know, and, you know, this knowledge has made us not even wanting to learn about us. It makes us think that our history is not important. But every race studies intensely their history. That connects them to their culture, their beliefs, and their God. That's necessary for one to have is his story organically. And then when you really start studying your history, you become proud of who you are because you're able to go back beyond what we was taught in elementary school as far as us being slaves. in a cotton field. House niggas. Porch niggas. When you study your history, you become proud of who you are and what you are connected to. It's a lot of us that don't even want to even accept that we are black. I would never denounce my color or my people. I'm proud to be a black man, a descendant from God. In that order, I know who I am and I know my purpose. God gives every human being a manual how to live. And some of us use the Holy Quran as our manual, and some people use the Holy Bible as their manual. However, in both of them books gives you direction on how to live. And just because I'm a Muslim and you a Christian, and we both are striving to do the best that we possibly can to serve God and humanity, when we leave this existence and just say, if we came in front of God and he weighed our deeds as a Muslim and as a Christian, and we both did good in this life, I don't think God, who is the supreme intelligence, will make a statement and say, you a Muslim, you go to hell. You's a Muslim, you don't believe in God. I don't think that he will erase both of our good deeds. Or he might say, you a Christian, you didn't believe in God, go to hell. I don't believe God will ever make a statement like that. I think both, if they both did good deeds on this earth, they will reap the benefits of their decisions and their choices and their conduct to be a good human being. And I think they will be awarded with paradise, the both. Some of us get caught up thinking that because we Muslims, we devils. You know, it's really crazy because when we came over here on them ships, we had African names. When we came over here on them ships, we were Muslim. We said, Assalamu alaikum. And when the enemy seeks to destroy you, the first thing that he destroys is your communication. And what he destroyed was our connection with our true and living God, which is Allah. This is history that you can't deny. Whether you want to deny it or not, it's true. And when they destroyed that communication with God, destroyed our language, our culture, our belief, our God, you then successfully dismantled a human being. So now, when you have successfully put the subconscious to sleep, you have now have access to fill the subconscious with you. And that's what happened to us in America. We were filled with hatred, envy, jealousy, hatred of self in our subconscious. And this was done repetitiously over years of programming, where it became automatic, because the subconscious is responsible for habitual habits. So when you destroy a man's mind and you program him with what you want to program him with, he does this automatically. He hates himself automatically. He goes against his people automatically. And it's some things that he do that he don't understand why he's doing this. Because of your negative programming from your enemy. Whether you want to accept it or not. It's irrelevant and immaterial. But it's one thing that I do know is this is true. We don't speak nothing but truth. A man can't worship his God. Do you know when you worship Allah, your true and living God, it removes fear? We are a very powerful people if we was to come together. Very powerful and resourceful and intelligent. A lot of people is embarrassed to be themselves. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't care how bad our people look today or our condition today. And this comes from knowing your history and knowing what's to come. I don't care how bad my people look. I'm a part of you. And I still love my people. You gotta love your people more than they hate themselves. Because some of them hate themselves. But when you are able to reach the core of their heart, that person that once hated himself or herself might become the best protector for our people. Make no mistake about it. So you can't count a person out. The only way that you can really count a person out, if God has put a period to their life. Then and only then can you make an assessment of that person's life. But while Allah still has life in that person and their history is being written, we have to be careful how we look at our people in the condition that they are in, because one day they can become a force for our people. I know a lot of people counted Malcolm X out. Said Malcolm Little wouldn't be worth anything. Detroit Red. He stole, he robbed, he did whatever he could, womanized, he did whatever he could to survive. But when he went to prison and he started studying the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, it touched the core of his mind. Something that he can never destroy because that's God. And from that moment, Malcolm X changed. And in so changing, he also changed the world. And that came from him submitting to what belongs to him, submitting to truth, and submitting to his true and living God. Malcolm X galvanized the world. And guess what? America can't say that they're responsible for teaching Malcolm. Malcolm's alma mater is the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's his teaching. We are governed under a different system of knowledge that's coded to our DNA. That's important. So, let's not be embarrassed about who we are. Let's welcome who we are. And when you learn your history, you will see that you come from a great lineage of history that's rich. I'm gonna leave with this. Our power comes from submitting to our true and living God. Your brother, Kabir Legend Muhammad.